Good morning, everyone. I am really pleased to be here today on a day that we have some good news. Most of the bus companies that service our children are fully back in service, and there will not be a strike. There still are 3 companies negotiating their contracts, and hopefully they will follow suit. Stay tuned. If there's any updated information, we will certainly get it to you as soon as possible. So my name is Ruth DiRoma, and I'm one of the senior family educators at INCLUDEnyc. And I'm really happy also to say that INCLUDE is having a birthday next week. We are 40 years old. So this organization that was founded by 3 moms who wanted to exchange information and sources of referrals and the like was formed 40 years ago. And here we are today, going strong, reaching hundreds of thousands of parents every year to support them and their families of children with disabilities. One of the big concerns that we literally start our day with every day is getting our children to school. And that's what we're talking about today. I personally lived through this. As a mom, as Michael's mom, I every morning I look up and say, I hope the bus gets here. I have my notes from when my son took the bus to school, and they are literally in my hand right now. It says, bus pulled out early. The bus was late. Bus company telephone number is not working. And I will tell you that these notes were dated 11/26/2001. So yeah, guys, we've been having these kinds of concerns for a long time. But hopefully, as the years go on, we're all getting a little more smarter. We know how to reach out and deal with some of these things. So let's talk about some of the more important points to making sure our days go by a lot smoother and getting our kids to school safely and securely. And I just want to add, in all honesty, that most of the time it worked. And I still look back at that time really with a lot of gratitude, because my kid did get to school. I did get to work. And oddly enough, or not oddly enough, my son met his best friend, and they've grown up into men together on the bus. So again, we are, good things can come of this. A sense of independence, a sense of being able to get places on your own. So things can develop. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on. I just want to let you know, for my sake and yours, that INCLUDE is a private nonprofit. We are not part of the New York City public school system. We, as I said, founded by 3 moms 40 years ago, but we do work in conjunction with the Office of Pupil Transportation. We try and work with them to make sure that we have up-to-date information that we can get across to you, who are parents like ourselves, who have ongoing concerns about getting our kids to school quickly, safely, in the most possible comfort. So as Sasha said, if you have questions that are kind of deeply specific or personal. We may not be able to get to them through our chat box today. So please, again, we do hope that you will call our helpline on 212-677-4660 and ask to speak to one of our family educators who can spend some time with you going over your specific concerns. So let's get started. I just want you to know that let's go through a quick overview of school transportation. It varies by school to school, and the eligibility for school transportation varies by child, by their needs, and by the circumstances under which they are leaving home and going to school. At the very minimum, students get Metro cards, especially when they're older and can or ride by themselves. Schools also offer stop-to-school transportation, and those can be the very big buses that stop. I have all my little buses here to help me this morning. They can be the buses that stop at a particular corner. I know every morning on my way to work, I pass by a certain corner and there's a whole bunch of kids waiting and talking along with their parents. They are not being picked up in front of their house, but rather at a convenient corner where they come together and get taken to school. That bus may, in fact, make several stops at other particular corners, but it fills up. It's usually a large bus, and it takes our kids to school. For children with the need for specialized busing, some parents say special education busing, but specialized busing is provided to students who may have health, disability-related conditions, or under special circumstances that prevent them from being able to walk or utilize other forms of transportation. That is also called curb-to-school bus service, which means the bus comes to the curb in front of your house or building and picks up your child and takes them along with other children directly to school. Now, there are other children on that bus. Specialized transportation used to automatically mean a smaller bus, but there's different size buses now. So I just want you to know that there are mid-sized buses, there are even smaller buses for children with more complex disabilities. But for the most part, there are about 10, 11 children on specialized transportation. Some of these buses also come equipped with either a ramp or a lift for children who may have mobility concerns, which will allow them to get onto the bus. These are the kinds of things that you will request on the medical forms that you fill out prior to eligibility being assigned to your child. So school busing can start as probably as soon as 6 weeks old and go straight through till a child is 21 years of age. Again, depending on circumstances, age, location, there's so many factors. And one of the things that I do want to state is that busing is complicated. The bus fleet of yellow school buses is twice the size as our Metropolitan Transit Authority. There are like 11,000 different routes running around the city. And, a regular MTA bus stops at a stop, moves along, goes. But these yellow school buses are stopping in front of buildings, turning down smaller side streets, and there's just a lot of planning that goes into it. So it is very complicated. Very often I have to stop and think to myself, buses don't fly. They can't get over the fire engine or the garbage truck or whatever that we get stuck behind. And the frustration that builds because of that is real. But please understand that these buses are being routed and rerouted continuously. So please, let's work together to get the best information to make sure our kids are safe. There are children who have busing under, as we said earlier, special circumstances. And those may be children who are living in shelters, domestic violence shelters, or other kinds of situations due to families' health or economic hardship, families that are doubled up. So again, there are certain circumstances by which children are allotted other kinds of transportation. Children in foster care are eligible for transportation. And the children fall under other kinds of services as well. So school-age transportation is really much based on, as we said, medical, health, or disability-related conditions. You will have to fill out medical forms stating why your child needs specific kind of curb to school transportation. But what I really like to go over with us today, because I would imagine that most of you on this webinar, on this call, on Facebook, know a lot of these things, is the basic concept of what we can do to help our kids get there. Everyone who is a parent knows that your child can receive a Metro card or yellow school buses. But what we need to make sure is that we have the most up-to-date information as possible all around us and at school, that we have New York City schools accounts. It is so important that you have the NYCSA account. So definitely, please make sure that all of that information is up to date. Make sure your school is up to date. Make sure OPT is up to date. Please make sure that you have the blue cards up to date, the cards that your driver hands you with your contact information. So in case something should happen on the bus, or the driver needs to contact you, or someone else who is responsible for picking up your child, we can definitely make sure that information is up to date. Sometimes when we get a new cell phone or move, we don't remember everybody that we had contacted in the first place. So please stop, think, where is my child's address showing up? Where do I need to make sure that my child's address is live? The Office of Pupil Transportation used to send out letters to parents, letting them know up front, all the details about the routes and information of that nature. They were getting back over 20% of those letters. They actually came back as undeliverable because things had changed. And that means a lot of kids, thousands of kids and their parents weren't getting this information. So I can't stress enough to please sign up for your New York City schools account. Ask your parent coordinator. If you're in a charter, non-public, or private school, try and work through your committee on special education, or call 311, let them know, and they will forward your call to someone who can help you. Again, this is so completely necessary. So I just want to stress that someone will be able to help you get your school's account. So families definitely need that account to get information, the most updated information. Should there have been a strike, a lot of that information would have been delivered to you on through your New York City Schools account. So let's talk about some of the more practical aspects of busing and how to make the ride easier for your family. Because in my eyes, busing is a family event. Because if you can't go to work because you're waiting for a bus, this becomes a family event. So Include has a tip sheet on our website under www.INCLUDEnyc.org that you can refer to. And we have recently updated it, but there's a lot of information on there that I hope you will refer to. So every public school has a transportation coordinator. This is the person that you will relate to about busing questions. And I will be very honest with you. OPT call center, which you certainly are able to reach out to, is staffed by people who may not be able to answer your questions or fix your problem. It is a call center, and kind of like calling, Walmart or Sears or, Citibank. You're going to reach somebody who may not at that point in time be able to fix things. Parents have told me that they have been on the phone on hold literally for 2 hours or more waiting to get through to the call center. But I want to show you something. So I'm going to share my screen super quickly, and I want you to follow along with me and take a look at what I'm showing you. Okay, guys. So here is the New York City Department of Education website. If we scroll down a little bit, and it says Happy Hispanic Heritage Month, which absolutely I agree with here at home. If you scroll down a tiny bit, you'll see transportation. So take a look watch what I'm doing. You're going to scroll even further. I'm on that transportation. It says contact information. You're going to click on that. We're going to scroll a little bit more, and it's going to say contact us. We're going to go to Support Hub. And when we go to Support Hub, once again, there's going to be another tab for transportation. And all of a sudden, a bunch of tabs open up. I need to change an alternate afternoon drop-off. Okay, so we're going to do that. We can change and we can find information that we are able to fill out. So guys, rather than sitting there for 2 hours, you are better off filling out the form or writing down the concerns. So do that, please. Most of the time, the call center is going to refer you back to your transportation coordinator and or going to tell you to fill out a form. So rather than waste your time, I'd rather you be taking action. I know you want to get this resolved. Take action. Follow up with these, get the information to them, and make sure that you can get what you need to get to create a ticket so you can move forward. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing so you get to look at me, and we're going to move forward. So the coordinator, I'm reading some of the information in the chat. Yes, the coordinators have other jobs at our schools. Coordinating is a full-time job. That I'm sure it is one of many full-time jobs they have. And I do agree. We would love for our coordinators to kind of service this, but that is something internal to your school. Okay, so please, guys, as I was trying to get across, we want you to take action. Part of taking action is information. Again, making sure that everything is up to date, making sure that you have the facts and the details. Just this morning before this webinar, I was talking to a parent who said that his very young daughter has a child with limited travel time. But because he was so afraid of the bus exceeding that limited travel time, he wasn't putting her on the bus. He was keeping her home. Well, it was really kind of hard to understand how he can prove to OPT, the Office of Pupil Transportation, why it wasn't working if she wasn't taking the bus. We need facts and figures. We need you to call. If the bus is late, let's find out why. Is the bus going to more than one school? Is the route untenable? You know, as I go back to say, buses don't fly. They can't get over the garbage truck. They can't get over the fire engine. What can we do to find out why these things happen? I also want to kind of remind us that you are a part of the bus team. You, mom, dad, caregiver, you have certain responsibilities. Among those responsibilities is to bring your child down on time. The bus won't wait. The bus can't wait. And there are reasons for that. One reason is if Michael gets on the bus at 7:15, and then we go to the next pickup and we wait 5 minutes, Michael's now been on the bus for 5 minutes. If we go to the third pickup and we wait 5 minutes, again, now Michael's been on the bus for 10 minutes. And on and on and on. With a bus of 10 children, it may turn out that Michael's been on the bus for an extra 45 minutes. Which is why we ask, let's work together, be downstairs on time. Otherwise, that first and second and even third kid may wind up being on the bus for an extra 15 minutes, half hour, 3/4 of an hour as we pick up each successive child. That enters into time on the bus and limited travel time. So we talked this morning a little bit about that and finding out, if in fact the bus is waiting, which they should not be, or is there something going on? I do remember Michael's bus making a major detour to pick up another child in another borough before coming back and heading to school. Things like that are problematic. Talk to your kids, talk to the bus driver, and attendant. And lastly, please be respectful of the bus team. They are working with you. They are there to help you. They can let you know if there's a problem, if there's something is making them late, if the president is on time. So please, guys, make sure that you understand a little bit from their perspective. I know it's getting a little bit late and that we probably have lots of stuff going on in the chat. So why don't we deal with some of the questions? And again, if we can't answer them here and now, because I know we have a time frame, please call our helpline. Please go directly through the website on the public school platform and get to the forms or questions or answers a lot quicker. Use, the technology available if you can. If not, call us. We will tell you how to bypass or get around it. But please, there are ways of getting help, and we are here to help you. So Sasha and Carly and Anna, how can I, answer some questions for people?
Hi, Ruth. So it looks like we have some in the Q&A. One is from Christy. My daughter travels to school by bus. However, her bus ride has been over 2.5 hours. I made a complaint to OPT. My daughter's bus company was YNM, and this week it was JOFAS temporarily. I reached out to my daughter's school to find out who will transfer her next week. No response. I logged on to my NYC DOE account. No updated information. Called OPT. No help. Who can I reach out to? And on her IEP, it states that she cannot be on the bus for long periods.
Okay. All right. So if in fact it actually says limited travel time, that's great. Let's find out, try and find out from the school, what that about, if they can check the bus route. Those transportation coordinators have the ability to find out from the bus liaisons within OPT what that route looks like. So please work with your internal transportation coordinator. You can also please call our helpline, and I think we may have some ideas for you additionally. But if she is on the bus for that long length of time, please try and find out who else is on the bus for that length of time. It will really help if not only you file complaints, but the other parents file complaints, because OPT can see the string of complaints and will most likely respond when they see this is really impacting. I have no doubt that it is, but truly, numbers count. Okay. All right. I'm looking at Adriana. What can I do? Because both of my daughters have the special transportation curb to curb, and they are 5 to 8 with IEPs, but they spend 2 hours on the bus. Okay, again, try and get some of the back end information. What's going on? How many schools are they stopping at? Understand, guys, there's a larger issue, and I'm not excusing that larger issue, but there's a shortage of bus drivers and buses. But let's find out what the root cause is. Let's find out if they're going to several schools. I spoke to a parent the other day whose bus is making 4 stops at 4 different schools. That's got to be adding on to, because each time they get to a school, they have to wait till somebody comes to take the children off the bus. They have to wait for the children to get off the bus. Those are the kinds of things that you need to have information. The fact that it's taking 2 hours should be information enough. But please understand, like everything, and like all big systems, they run on facts and data. Let's find out what's going on behind the scenes. How many kids are they? Where is your child on the route? Are they stopping at multiple schools? Are they stopping, at a school in another borough, which is what I lived through, and then going back to the original route? It could be what's happening now, that kids that were not routed in August or early September are getting routed now and being added on. Try and find out that information, so when you talk to them, you could say, you know, that bus is making 3 stops, you know, the bus, and please, it needs to be corrected. Okay, Francine, I think a problem many parents have is that even when we follow the steps and file complaints, either online or by phone, the tickets are lost, closed, ignored without solving the problem. Can you say what is the best way to escalate a problem? Because OPT has historically been uncooperative when it comes to helping parents. Francine, again, you know, I don't work for OPT. Include works with OPT and tries to resolve these things. I would definitely say, give us a call. There may be things that, you know, I always have a saying, if I can't go in the front door, I'm going to kind of get in one side or the other, but I'm going to get in. And there are ways of doing that. You may need to write to people in higher places to get them to notice these problems. But what you're also talking about is systemic. And frankly, we need to change the system. But right now, at 7:15 in the morning, most of us parents want to know where the bus is. So I agree with you. Give us a call. You and I certainly can talk, and we're more than happy to speak with you. Okay, Heather, what do parents do when they have called OPT, the liaison, their busing coordinator and bus company, and things just don't seem to change? Because we have tried all the things suggested and nothing seems to happen. Heather, you know, and I know you know, that there are people behind there. There are people in OPT that you certainly could reach out to. Everything from the directors to other staff members. You can certainly reach out to them and talk to them about what is happening. Adriana says, I already called, made several tickets, and they told me my daughters are second to be picked up from 18 kids, okay, with 3 different schools. All right, so now the tactic is we need to change that. Again, so I would, it says, okay, something just popped up. Call Include, ask to speak to me, and we can certainly have some ideas about what's going on. Now, okay, there are things going on in the chat besides the Q&A.
Do you want me to read what's in the chat, Ruth? I know it's moving fairly quick.
Yeah, because I think we're running out of time.
Yes.
Well, we urge you to add pressure to the DOE, the New York City administration, which includes the mayor and the chancellor. Again, systemic change. And I do understand that, yes, there are, Include and Parents for Improved School Transportation and, Advocates for Children. All of these organizations are presenting this information in real time back to administration. We know that these things are happening. We live these things on a day-to-day basis. Yes, we have to make it known, and we do try and, see that the information is getting passed on to the people who can make these systemic changes.
And it looks like there are no questions in the chat, but rather just commentary. So I default to you to decide what you would like to respond to, and if there are any questions.
A lot of the things here I think are absolutely, understood, and very much you have my sympathy and my deepest, respect for having to live through this on a daily basis. We certainly are here to try and, work with you. Sometimes, if you bounce this by someone on the phone, within and without of the Department of Education, sometimes we can find ways of looking at things. And sometimes, like the call I had this morning, we talked about, several alternatives. And sometimes we just need those alternatives to move forward. So I really do invite you to talk to us, to attend, again, council meetings. Somebody put into, Heather put into, Glenn Reesbrook is the executive director of OPT. John Benson is the deputy. Those are real people behind the scenes. Special education is the escalation mailbox for all things special education related. All right, so I think we have just about, we have a few more minutes. Okay, we have it. Are there any questions in Spanish? Okay.
Carly mentioned there are no questions from the Facebook Live at the moment.
Great. I just want to, remind you that we know this is not a perfect system. As I said to you at the very beginning, 20 years ago, I asked some of the same questions. Where is the bus? And we know as time goes on, maybe things will change. New York City has got the biggest ground fleet and the biggest transportation fleet of yellow buses. If you go, and I tell everyone, to the Museum of Natural History on any particular day, you will see loads of yellow school buses. Those yellow school buses say everything from Hempstead to New Rochelle to Mount Vernon to, cities nearby from New Jersey, whatever. And they're all kind of labeled with the towns and villages and cities that these buses are coming from. If you go and see another bus that says, and I'm, Little Richie or Lorinda or Joe Faz or someone, because those are contracted buses. So we're kind of one step away. So please understand that our system is somewhat different. Our system is a lot more complicated, and we do need to make sure that we speak out. But please, guys, spending 2 hours or more holding isn't getting you where you need to be. Try and get to some place where you can fill out the information, you can email, you can write. So sitting there isn't helping. Take action in a respectful and productive way with facts and figures. If you know that the bus is going to 3 schools with 18 children, put that in your email. Let them know what the problem is. Okay, so I thank you all for being here today. Please look to Include for all things related to families with children with disabilities. We've got some wonderful events coming up this fall. College is Possible, and we will have our Include Fair this winter. So please reach out to us about your busing questions, and we will answer them individually. Please sign up for our Include website to get lots of updated information. And I wish you all a good long weekend. Thank you.